Hello, everybody, and welcome back to 50 Shades of Tay. I am back with another CinemaCon 2026 recap. This one is on Warner Brothers. Still day two of CinemaCon. I can't believe it. Today was a long, busy day, but it was so much fun. This morning I covered Neon's presentation. If you haven't had a chance to check that out on my channel. Very fun presentation, very stacked lineup. But now for Warner Brothers. I'm telling you guys right now, Warner Brothers has put out the best presentation so far this week. They are the ones to beat. They had such fun presentations. They brought out a lot of incredible filmmakers, talented actors, and they really pulled out all the stops for their slate. So I can't wait to talk to you guys about it. Warner Brothers had Patton Oswalt come out to host their presentation, but his entrance was hilarious because it started out as just a voice from behind the stage and we didn't know who it was. And they were talking about how great this actor was and listing off all of his accolades and everything. And then it was him. And he came out on stage with some showgirls, very Vegas style, very funny. He was great. He had lots of jokes related to the theatrical experience. He was talking about Raisinets and how they're going to outlive people. And he said he saw 117 movies in theaters last year. So that is incredible to see someone with such passion for the theatrical experience getting to host the Warner Brothers presentation. I I don't know if he has me beat. I gotta say, I don't know. I would have to take a look and see how many movies I saw in theaters last year, but 117, that's a lot. So to kick things off, they had an on-screen pre-recorded reel of upcoming 2027 projects, which I was very surprised. They skipped ahead to 2027 and just showed off a bunch of upcoming stuff, including a Minecraft movie 2, a new movie called Remain from M. Night Shyamalan and Nicholas Sparks. That was really surprising to me. The two of them teaming up. Very interested to see what that is. And Panic Carefully. We also got a little bit of information about Oceans from Margot Robbie. It's going to be the Ocean's 11 prequel movie. Very interested to see what that one is. There was a really cute pre-recorded message from Cynthia Erivo, and she talked about her upcoming movie, Bad Fairies. Melissa McCarthy, she was dressed up in like Christmas gear, and she was talking about her upcoming animated Christmas movie called Margie Claus. On a pre-recorded message, it was James Gunn, and he was sandwiched in between Lex Luthor and Superman as they talked a little bit about Man of Tomorrow coming in 2027. There's an upcoming movie from Tim Miller directing, starring Keanu Reeves, and it was about sharks. He was like in the middle of the ocean recording his pre-recorded message talking about how there's a lot of sharks. So very curious about that one as well. All right. A few other notable 2027 releases that were mentioned were Evil Dead Wrath, Godzilla Kong Supernova. There was a new Nancy Meyers movie, and then The Lord of the Rings, The Hunt for Gollum. But that's crazy. That's 2027. So that's next year. And I'm glad they started with that because it was just cool to see all this other stuff that's coming from them. The first person they brought out was crazy. The biggest movie star probably on the planet. Tom Cruise came out to talk about his new movie Digger. Uh, I didn't know like anything about this movie before they showed the footage, and I gotta say, it is crazy. I have never ever seen Tom Cruise like this before. He is an old man in the movie. He's in a lot of makeup and prosthetics, and he's an old man. So I can't believe it when I saw it. I had to do a double take and be like, is that really Tom Cruise? Tom Cruise and the director talked about how they met for the first time and how Tom Cruise rolled up on his motorcycle. And it was really funny because in Patton Oswalt, he mentioned that's how everyone should get to meet Tom Cruise for the first time is him pulling up on a motorcycle. So Digger, I didn't know literally anything about it, and now I am very curious. Tom Cruise said it's a wild movie, it's funny, and he's so excited for everybody to see it, and I am very excited too. I still can't believe it's him. I know it's him, but old. I, yeah. You guys, when they put this footage out, you're gonna have to see it for yourself. All right. Next up, they showed us some footage from the end of Oak Street. I think that one's really interesting. I just don't know about the dinosaurs. When the house and the neighborhood relocate, I'm very interested in that aspect. But then once the dinosaurs show up, I'm like, I'm not too sure where this is going. But you know, I'm excited. I'm excited for that one. All right, so New Line got a sizzle reel as well of their upcoming projects. They showed off footage from Evil Dead Burn. Oh man, that's one of my most anticipated horror films of the year. Stars Hunter doing. Uh, you'll never do dishes the same after you see this trailer. There's a line. For people who have been following me for a while, you know, in the last Evil Dead movie, I said mommy's with the maggots now a lot. In this trailer, there's a new line. I'm not going to give it away because I don't think this footage is out yet because I do know they said they still had to put like the final touches on the trailer. So I'm not going to say it, but when the trailer comes out, just know there's a line and it's going to be the new mommies with the with the maggots now. And then they showed us an extended scene from Mortal Kombat 2. It was a fight sequence. Loved the fight choreography. I think this one's going to be really fun. Just seeing it on the big screen at CinemaCon with an auditorium full of people, it just looks like a crowd-pleasing action comedy. Yeah, I have more notes about how good Evil Dead Burn is. I can't believe we're getting two Evil Dead movies within the next couple years, Evil Dead Burn and then Evil Dead Wrath. It is a great time for Evil Dead fans. Uh, Wayne, can you grab me the the bag? I just want to show off what it was. When we got into the auditorium, everyone's seat had a bag on it, and it said "Do not open." Thank you very much. This was the bag. And let me just tell you, I was telling everyone in my row, I was like, oh, I feel like it's going to be a crypto plushie, or I feel like it's going to be a sandworm plushie from Dune, because it's very soft and squishy. It was not that. I'll show you guys. This is some ASMR for you if the mic's picking this up, I'm really sorry. But also, some people are into that, and you're welcome if you're one of those people. If you gave me 100 guesses to guess what was in this package, I never would have guessed it was the Cat in the Hat thing one and thing two wig. Hilarious. But thing one and thing two came out on stage. They showed a new trailer for the Cat in the Hat animated film. It was funny because everyone in the auditorium was putting on their wigs, and then they took like a group photo of everyone from the stage wearing the wigs. It was a sea of blue, and I don't know, just a really fun and like break in the footage for that presentation. All right, so then we get to Peter Safran from DC coming out, and oh man, okay, so before we got into the Warner Brothers presentation, I was talking to Jeremy Johns about what I was looking forward to seeing, and I said I really hope they show us something from Clayface, and guess what? They showed us something from Clayface, and it looks incredible. It is leaning very hard into the horror aspect. The opening shot of the trailer is just like a face covered in bandages, all bloody, and the way it shows the clay, the final shot of the trailer was Clayface in a tub, and he's like got a crazy look on his face, and then he goes like this and just like smears the clay. I don't know. I'm excited for Supergirl, which I'll get into next, but Clayface, oh man, that might be my most anticipated DC movie right now. But Supergirl was awesome. They brought out Millie Alcock, they brought out Jason Momoa, and they brought out the director Craig Gillespie, and they showed us an extended scene. It's okay, so in the trailer, there's a scene where she's sitting at like a bus stop on a planet, and the wind's going, and she's sitting there, and it's blowing her hair. I love that. But it's the scene after that. It's like the whole scene of her in like a spaceship, like a space tour bus, and like a heist that goes on in there and her needing to regain her power from the sun. So she asks the bus driver to get closer to the sun, and he says two things because they're like under attack from these like people pulling the heist, and he said, "I would if I had balls." And it's like a little creature, and he was like, "I don't," because he was scared of the people that were pulling the heist. But Jason Momoa talked about how it's a dream come true to play Lobo, and how he collected the comic books as a kid. And it was really funny because the director asked him the question that everyone wants to know, and I'm sure I already know. This is the question Jason Momoa is going to be asked every day for the rest of his life. Who would win in a fight between Aquaman and Lobo? And his answer was great. He said that they would look at each other and then they would go on to drink a few hundred beers and they would get along great. And I thought that was the perfect answer, but Jason, prepare to say that for years to come. They talked about the memorable parts of making Supergirl together, and they talked about how Millie was like in the snow for some scenes and she couldn't even feel her face. And she said in between takes she would slap her face around to like get the feeling back in her face. And I was like, damn, that is some dedication. But the scene they showed us was gorgeous. There's a part where she's like floating in space trying to regain her energy from the sun. And I was like, damn, this looks beautiful. So I'm very, very excited. Uh, the next thing that happened was crazy because I knew going into it we were going to see this, but I forgot because I was like so distracted by Evil Dead and Mortal Kombat and Supergirl and Clayface. And then all of a sudden, a bunch of candles appear on stage, virtual digital candles, and they all blow out, and then you hear a voiceover and it's the wonderful voices of Sandra Bullock and Nicole Kidman. And I was like, oh yeah, they're going to show us the Practical Magic 2 trailer, which I'm very curious about. But then like a portal opened on the side of the stage. I know this sounds crazy. I swear this happened. I only had a couple vodka cranberries, but this really happened. A portal opened on the side of the stage, and Nicole Kidman and Sandra Bullock came out on stage, and they were hilarious. They were so funny. They were really playing up their characters because they're sisters. For those of you who haven't seen the original Practical Magic, they're sisters. Um, they were like, they were like teasing each other about stepping on each other's lines. And it was so great to see this chemistry. And I really hope that what we saw on stage from them tonight translates to the film. But they showed us the trailer, and the trailer looks great. It's crazy to see them. I'm not going to say all these years later because I also joked about that too, about don't mention how long it's been since the last one. It's crazy to see them together again in these roles. But the thing that really stood out to me was they were talking about how easy it was to like slide back into these characters and how it felt like going home. Like they felt like it was like a homecoming for them. And the one thing that was like nuts was they built the first floor, like the ground floor and the whole garden around the house, practically practical. Get it? Practical magic. And I thought that was so cool. And they were talking about how crazy it was to like relive being on that set. And Sandra Bullock said the hairstylist for her that she's had for like forever said was pregnant with her first kid the last time they did a Practical Magic, and how like walking through that garden in the house, like it felt like being back to that exact moment. And I was like, oh man, that's really cool. Okay, this is like the funniest thing that happened all night. So the movie is called Practical Magic, right? Sandra Bullock asked Nicole Kidman on stage, why do we come here, Nicole? And Nicole, she said it. She said, we come to this place for magic. And everyone went crazy. And Nicole Kidman said she didn't think people were going to clap. And Sandra Bullock was like, no, everyone knows. Everyone knows this. So man, that was great. And the two of them together, they were hilarious. They were hilarious. So I hope we get a lot of comedy from the two of them. And then, yeah, Patton Oswalt kept pointing out how short he was between them because he was standing in the middle of them and they were both so tall compared. I didn't realize like the height difference. And Nicole Kidman offered to take off her heels, and he said no because that would make it even more embarrassing for him. But Practical Magic 2, I don't know if that trailer is out yet. I have not had a chance to see what trailers are out yet. But if that one's out, I would say check it out. And when you're watching that trailer, just know at least the first floor and the garden is all practical. And that's so cool. Another really cool thing, this I was not expecting at all, was J.J. Abrams came out and he was talking about his next film. It's an original film called The Great Beyond. And they showed us, I don't know, maybe like a minute or two of footage. And the cast was great. It looks incredible to me. It has who did it have? It had Glenn Powell, it had Jenna Ortega, it had Samuel L. Jackson, but I don't know. I feel like The Great Beyond from J.J. Abrams could be a very special movie. And it caught me by surprise because when we were going through everything, um, I just kept thinking, when are we getting Dune? Like I love hearing about all these other movies, but when are we getting Dune? And then all of a sudden, like the lights went out, but you could see it in the row. So we're in this like huge arena, Coliseum music venue. you could see all the people walking down the aisles. And I was like, what the heck? And it was all these people walking onto the stage and they were in costumes from Dune and they were chanting the chant you can hear Timothy Chalamet chanting in the trailer. And I was like, oh shoot, it's finally Dune time. And everyone was getting so excited because you could just tell Dune Part 3 is like everyone's most anticipated film from Warner Brothers right now. And they came out, and by they, I mean Timothy Chalamet, Zendaya, Jason Momoa. Again, he came out twice, once for Supergirl and then once for Dune. And Denis Villeneuve came out, and they were talking about the film, how they've spent 10 years doing this. They've spent 10 years with Dune, and I was like, that is insane. Um, they made some points that I knew, but I don't know if everyone knows this, so I'm just gonna say it just so everyone knows. Dune Part 3 is set 17 years after Dune Part 2. So just if you're not familiar with the story or didn't know that, just know that going into it, 17 years later, he was talking about how he doesn't want to follow in his own footsteps and he wants to um, kind of do something different for this one. He said that the first one was like a boy getting to like learn about this world. The second one he said was more of a war film. Then he said the third one is um, like a more thriller, more action-packed, and he said like tighter. And he said if he made the first two for himself, he made this third one for the fans, and I thought that was really great. But I kept wondering, like, what are they going to show us? What are they going to show us? They showed us the first 7 minutes, as I like to say, 7 minutes in heaven, and it was the fastest 7 minutes of my life. It was an insane sequence. It literally the first 7 minutes. So it showed the Warner Brothers logo with the sound of the thumping, and then all of a sudden it's just like this huge space battle, lasers flying everywhere, insane. The sound was crazy. The graphics were crazy. Just this is gonna look so good in IMAX. So the first 7 minutes of Dune Part 3 were shown tonight. I could not believe it because I didn't know. I didn't know what they were gonna show. I did not expect that. I cannot wait. I think it's gonna be so fun. And everyone after when the because that was it. That was it for CinemaCon from Warner Brothers. Everyone when we were like leaving the presentation, they were all buzzing about it and talking about how great it looked, how fun it was, how fast that 7 minutes went. But man, I I love the Dune franchise. The first two are incredible, 10 out of 10 for me. So this third one, it just looks so special, and it's just like how does he do this? How does he keep pulling off these crazy, incredible visuals? And I'm just, oh man, I'm so excited. He talked about the additions of new actors to the franchise. Anya Taylor-Joy, who was in part two for a very brief cameo, he talked about expanding her role. He talked about Robert Pattinson joining the franchise. Um, I don't know. I need it to be Dune Part 3 day, whenever that is. I need it now. I need the rest of the movie, but oh man. Before we flooded out of the auditorium, though, they did show a list, and I don't think I have this list of 2027 and 2028 movies coming from Warner Brothers. And it was a lot of the ones I mentioned at the very beginning, but there were some other ones off the top of my head. I remember there was a Hello Kitty movie. There was a Game of Thrones movie. Um, there was just like, it was so much. I wish we could have taken a picture of that graphic, but they did not allow any pictures. But there was just a huge list of upcoming movies, including all the 2027 releases. So I think Warner Brothers has a very strong slate. Right now, Warner Brothers is the studio to beat at CinemaCon 2026. They had the strongest presentations, they had the best footage, they had such cool ways to present it, like the portal opening with Nicole Kidman and Sandra Bullock, with the entire, cast of Dune and all the actors walking down the aisle. They just really made it theatrical. Actually, one thing, speaking of theatrics, when it was time to talk about Supergirl, they had this alien on the side of the stage, like DJing with Call Me, the Blondie song. I don't know what the fuck that alien was, but it was hilarious. It was like size noodles if she had like even longer salad fingers. But all right. I guess that's it for me for tonight. That was day two of CinemaCon 2026. I can't believe how fast this is going, but thank you so much to everyone who has been tuning in and for all of your wonderful comments and It's been really fun getting to reply to you guys and I don't know, just like hear what you guys are excited for. So, out of all those movies that I just mentioned from Warner Brothers, whether it's something that is coming out soon or something further down the line, like Hello Kitty or Game of Thrones, what are you guys looking forward to the most from Warner Brothers? And what are you guys looking forward to tomorrow? Actually, so first up tomorrow on Wednesday, April 15th is the screening at 9:30 from 9:30 a.m. to 11:45 and it's Forgotten Island, DreamWorks Animation. It's the same directors that brought us Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, Daniel Mercado and Joel Crawford. Cannot wait to see that on the big screen. There will be a break in the day. That's when everyone does the trade show floor, the lunches, gets to walk around, see all the popcorn buckets, all the posters, displays. Then at 4 o'clock, from 4 to 6, there's going to be the Universal Pictures and Focus Features presentation. Then from 6 p.m. to 7:45 is the Omnia nightclub dinner party. That one is always so much fun. And then the last thing tomorrow will be 8:30 p.m. to 10:15 p.m., which is Amazon MGM. Cannot wait for that. So stay tuned. I'll bring you guys updates tomorrow as well. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you have a great night. Bye.